Hi everyone, I'm Ella and I'm part of St Andrew's Wharf Youth Hub. And of course, I was part of the brains behind Island Unity Festival. St Andrew's Wharf Youth Hub is based in Isle of Dogs and it's part of the Tower Hamlets Borough Youth Services. In celebration of their successful endeavours to engage young people in recent times, to inspire them, this presentation contains highlights of the activities of St Andrew's Wharf over the last 2.5 years. It's also going to have interviews with guest speakers, partner organisations, and of course the young people involved, both past and present. It's going to be hosted by Emmillio and produced by the same team as those behind Island Unity Festival. This presentation sort of polishes off St Andrew's strategy of providing content for young people, by young people, especially during these challenging times. Additionally, it serves to share positive news stories about St Andrews and how, a bit of insight into how they've had a positive impact on the Isle of Dogs community. With the landscape of uncertainty still around with COVID-19, sadly, St Andrew's Youth Club has not been able to open recently, but they're still determined to continue to inspire young people around Isle of Dogs and to help them be a positive impact in their community. Some of the activities that they've had, there's a long list right here. I'll read out some of them to you, but this is what we're going to be looking at today. It's Music Development Project, a Girls Project, Arts and Craft, Homelessness Project, a Motorbike Project, Island Unity, the real one of course, Island Unity virtual ones, 1 and 2, a holiday program, a Black History Month, and even online football fitness. Not that I know how that would work. So very interesting, and we'll learn a lot today. So hope you enjoy.
I was making music, Well, I initially went out there, some volunteering thing for my college course, at George Green's. And then obviously I saw there was a music studio there as well. So I was initially hooked onto that because I always wanted to actually take music seriously. I just didn't know how to not spend stupid money on studio sessions, So that's what I was doing at St Andrews, just making my early starts with my music. And then I met this guy there.
For me, I had a nose injury, so I broke my nose just before I came to St Andrews, and at the time I kind of felt myself coming out of sports. I was really trying to get into music, and then one of my boys, he told me yo, there's a studio at St Andrews, and I was like, oh, okay. So that's when I went and checked it out, and then the manager there at the time, he showed me they're trying to buy new equipment and get the studio up and started again. You know what I'm saying? It was a project that they really wanted to get going again, because I feel like it failed the last time, so they really wanted to, get something, new and running again. So that's how I came across the studio. And then obviously during my time there, I met Will, and that's when I brought along Jerome as well, because Jerome went to my secondary school. So, and he was making beats at the time. So I told him, yo, you might as well come studio, make your beats there.
Andrews was a bit of a challenge in that it was closed previously for I think around 7 months prior to me coming along. I had a number of challenges that came with the centre, namely being sort of antisocial behaviour and sort of disjointed community cohesion for one reason or another. I didn't really have a staff team as such. I had to think of a vision to get the centre kind of up and running. I was met with the community sort of outreach team known as Rapid Response Team, and they were my support mechanism in the early days.
Youth services as an extension, that's what Rapid Response do. We do intervention mediation work, but we also work in partnership with staff at St Andrew's Wharf, right up until the service was sort of, closed off because they went for a restructure. So we had been covering the area as the only sort of youth engagement element in the area, as there was no St Andrews Wharf Youth Provision running at the time. So I was part of the local action group. It was arranged for us to sort of cover hotspots in the area. And in attending with the local action group meetings, we had representatives from the youth services who were working very hard to relaunch the youth service with new staff. So that eventually happened. We managed to continue working and get the St Andrews Wharf Youth Club reopened with new youth workers. I was introduced to Errol first, and what we had done was agreed a partnership program where we would support the new youth workers coming into the area. Personally went round and met Errol, and the first thing I normally do when meeting new staff covering the area is if you're going to be working in the area, you need to sort of know the area. So we took him on a tour on foot around the whole of the Isle of Dogs, explaining the different areas, the different groups, what local issues are, what provisions, where groups hang out. And it was sort of like a tour, really. I think shortly after that, David joined, and then we agreed upon a short-term program. So we would sort of pop into the youth provision once or twice a week and cover the areas, advising young people that there is now a youth provision in the area. And I think following that, more staff joined, and that's how it's been since.
The music development project really was born about in terms of my vision for St Andrews Wharf, in that it was arts and media and music sports hub.
So I'm always interested to get involved with creative projects. So I was aware of the studio media facility at the centre. It was one of the very positive things about St Andrews Wharf. Even though it was a small building, it was a popular studio. So we had, up until then, had young people come in, do music productions, explore creativity, record podcasts.
With that in mind, I set about speaking to young people who had a very keen interest in music, and the centre had a history in sort of music provision. So I spoke to a youngster called Will, who was previously a member of the centre. I spoke to other members of the centre who wanted to get involved in music. So I visited George Green's school and set up a music project, and we got in another a keen mentor in terms of music production, who would come in and sort of mentor young people with their music aspirations.
So I'm a music producer, and I've been working at St Andrews Wharf on and off on music projects for the past 5+ years. And I was doing that with the help of Janan and Geraldine from 18 Arts, in which they would send me to different parts of the borough in terms of different youth hubs. And St Andrews Wharf was always one of those hubs that was really the most into music. So the centre had been closed for some time, so that's the reason why I hadn't been doing any projects there. But we got wind that there was 2 new people in Errol and Dave. They sent me over there. And my philosophy when it comes to working with the hubs is simply asking them, what do you want to do? And it's then my job to be able to assess how I can deliver. And with St Andrews, speaking to Errol and Dave, they had such a clear vision of what they wanted to achieve. It was very easy to slot in and just support. So as I told them what I do, they then was mentioning that they was planning on engaging the young people in George Green School. So I said, that would be a great idea. I can bring the laptop provided by Janan and Geraldine from 18 Arts, and we can literally engage the young people whatever time works. I'm happy to do it.
And we recruited young people who had a keen interest in music.
Much credit to Jane Sullivan from George Green. When we went there, we met the young people, and I very, very simply said that this is a consultation. We want to deliver a music program, but we want your input to maximize engagement. So the young people opened up, told us who they were, what they wanted to do. Some were musicians already who played instruments. We had a live band there. That's when we first met Marigold Spitfire. There were singers, there were people who into the rap, as well as everything else in between. So from that scenario, again, I work in any situation, I'm adaptable. So we had one laptop, we had musical recording equipment and 30 young people, and we made it work. So we literally would have sessions where young people in a team of as big as 30 would come across one laptop and they'll be recording tracks and getting to make music together. Even though many of them knew each other, they haven't actually made music together before the project. And it went very well. So from doing the project, the idea was to recruit them to come and engage in music sessions at St. Andrews. And they literally came flooding in. So with that same laptop, because at the time St. Andrews Wharf didn't have an up-to-date computer, we'd use the laptop to work with young people so they can come in, they can make tracks, they can do production and explore all the different music art forms that they wished. And it was an absolute pleasure to be involved in the young people's development.
So basically how it starts off is like before this COVID stuff started happening, I just applied to ELAM. And so I thought, like, obviously I'm going to go to get into ELAM, you need to go in for how would I put it? It's like an audition, yeah, an audition. And so I'd learned the track to go do an audition, but the COVID crisis happened. So then my audition was cancelled. And so I'm thinking, how am I going to get into ELAM? So what they said was that you had to send in a recording of something that you've made. And basically, a few months before, me and Gabriel, for some random reason, decided to record a song called Digital Natives at the youth club. And if we didn't randomly record that, I don't think I would have actually gotten into ELAM because I had nothing recorded. So by luck, just random luck, that youth club got me into ELAM.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Name's Emmillio. You may have seen me from a few of the virtual events that we've been doing at St. Andrews Wharf. Shout out to Ella. I mean, the introduction was so beautiful, I don't even have to say anything else. I'm just going to introduce you to Nathan, who's one of the young people that we worked with through the Music Development Project. And he previously performed at the Virtual Island Unity, but he's come again with another track. Check it out.
Yo, on a mysterious road, nearly got dragged down turnings, car swerving, but I kept control. Man, I can't see through this range and I work wipers, but they're way too old. Man, I'm trying to unscrew my head, but I got unlocked with the nuts and bolts. Got a couple man in close range and I overtake, getting rammed off road. Gotta go through my gears, gotta put foot down, no cruise control. Got hella things in my way, gotta swerve them, trying to eat my soul. And never me get dragged down, no sea anchor, gotta stay afloat. I've got to stay on my wave, got to state that name, show 'em who's involved. And show when I jump on tracks, mate, off balance, like he walked that rope. And when I come to this game, got to use them skills, got to score that goal. And choosing my tracks off fire, but the opposite, cause my bar's too cold. A man to speak facts, not a liar, wish it was not when I climb this pole. Gonna go one level higher, open eyes up when I switch this flow. Gonna go one level higher, open eyes up when I switch this flow. Cause Nave's on the beat, made to defeat. Just watching the beat drops low. When my lips move, the rappers are panicking, which proves they're praying, examining. Quick move when I spit it's damaging. Make you freeze, you can't move like a mannequin. Take a chance when I'm gambling, money not great, not struggling, managing. Man, I still got peace, but I've got to invest to multiply what I'm currently handling. In the booth trying to make something work, gotta do my part by chipping in. Straining myself every day in the booth, got me tired like Michelin. That bar left man with a wound, probably gonna cry when they're stitching him. See the mouth drop when they're listening, soon drop top hand glistening. Only 17 when the mind that is brilliant, use ish as for the million. Look to the sky for advice cause I know that he's up there listening. Picture him, looking straight to the sky for the guidance, up here to the violence. Mum watching their sons dying, still no love for the trident. Couldn't get there in time, they'd have got to see their mum crying, fire 'em. Mum on the floor, she's screaming, still no sound of a siren. It's a sad time of the year when you see hella broad day knifings. But you gotta get on with life, never distracted by the violence. I'm not involved, just trying to make it, so I'm trying. Still writing in my notepad, liking the styling in my flow that rhymes every time. And I'm 17 when the mind that is blinding, fighting for the freedom. I got bars for a reason, gonna use them to the point I'm bleeding, just feel them. Let me jump back in. Gonna spit 1-2 bars, man, I'm gonna go hard, so I'm gonna go in. Trying to get out and about, not here for the clout, but the global things. Hijack that plane, make a U-turn straight for the Brits. Never hate on them, but listen. I've already shown that I've got what it takes for a man to glisten. Not a bad mind, but when it comes to the bars, man moves vicious. I've got a fat grind going on cause the high life looks delicious. Get a mumsy riches, oh, you can fly like discus. Spin that track, gotta rewind cause a man's too fast and I make you see in flying colours like citrus. The flow comes like mixtures. You've heard too much, till next time cut this mat cause I've got a couple calls and who are they from, your missus?
Shouts out to you, Nathan, on that one. You're getting better and better and better. Can't wait to keep being a part of your journey as well, sir. We're going to move on to another very important part of what St. Andrews do in terms of engaging in young women in the form of the Girls Project. And we're also going to be having a quick look into the homeless project that St. Andrews Wharf done as well, which was a massive highlight of what they were up to over the past 2.5 years. Check that out.
So, the Isle of Dogs.
We have schools.
Look at what?
We have churches. We have public transport. Only we have the best thing ever. Centres.
Yay!
I saw when I was reviewing the centre and the centre's programme that over a period of time there was a lack of girls within the centre. So we had a couple of girls who used to come in now and again. We spoke to them and they just told us a little bit about the history of, why the sort of girls weren't really regularly visiting the centre. We visited George Green School and various partners within the community. So with that in mind, I put together a programme with our female member of staff at the centre to attract girls from George Green School with the help of Exari within the participation team, who had a link to George Green School, and we partnered up with One Housing.
The young girls had a really good relationship with Shabina already, who was the main worker for the girls group. It was really it was kind of easy for us in that sense because the girls had formed a group already. So they were all, they had like a really good relationship with both Shabina and each other as well. And so one thing that we did was before we kind of joined, before we started planning for any of the sessions, we kind of consulted with the girls on what kind of activities that they would like us to deliver.
From that, we put on a number of different programs, cooking being one, that's what the girls wanted to do. We did arts and media, drama, we actually attended theatre down in Victoria, which the girls really enjoyed. Other things they did live music, instrument playing, they did arts and crafts. One of the girls by the name of Yasmina actually put together a video of the centre. Hi, my name is Emmillio. I manage St. Andrews Wharf Youth Hub, not Youth Centre. That's what I've renamed it. That's my vision of the centre.
The fact that they were so involved in the planning process, like we literally mapped out our plan for the next few months for them, it just meant that the level of participation was quite high, and it was something that they actively wanted to be involved in, and they had like a sense of ownership over it because it was their project. We were helping to facilitate it, but it was their project.
We also developed a boxing session around girls as well.
And I was never a sporty kid, and it's really fun because I can meet up with my friends. I also like it because Erin and Dave are really good adults that I can entrust in. Hi, I'm Erin and I'm 15. I go to Erin and Dave's boxing club in the island, and it's really helped me with my anger issues, and I think it's a really safe place and it's really fun because I'm with all my friends, and Erin and Dave are really good boxing teachers.
Hi, I'm Katerina, I'm 14 and I go to the Dave and Errol's boxing, and I really enjoy it because sometimes I struggle with my confidence. So going there and learning new things and boxing and meeting new people really helps me build up my confidence, and it's fun as well.
Hi, my name's Emmillio. I'm 14 and I go to David and Errol's boxing club every week. I really enjoy it because I learn a lot of new skills. As well as boxing, we have learnt how important it is to stretch our muscles before we do any sort of exercise to prevent any injuries.
Boxing!
The homeless project sort of came about was a member of the community who actually came into the youth hub, spoke to me about a homeless project where she was looking to support people who were struggling to provide shelter for themselves and general upkeep for themselves. She was looking to provide food and clothing for them. She was looking for us to sort of empower, young people as leaders who could sort of maybe make the food and sort of help out in terms of supporting vulnerable people within the community. Every Thursday we were out there collecting food and sort of within the community and kind of delivering food basically at a point that we would all meet, and we collect the food and sort of dish it out to the community. It went very, very well.
Special shout out to Yasmina and all the girls and all the young people that were involved in the Girls Project as well as the Homeless Project. Special shout out to Shabina as well as Aksari. So let's keep on moving. We have one hell of a highlight, apologies, in regards to the St. Andrews Wharf activities, and we have what was considered one of the most popular projects in the motorbike project. Check it out.
I used to go to a meeting at the town hall as part of the community safety team. There was a lady called Caroline Watts as part of the antisocial behaviour team, and quarterly we have to add a meeting with different agencies within the community. In particular, I would say the police, community safety team, other housing associations, One Housing, and other agencies.
But there was definitely an issue that I've noticed through working with many young people till they turned into adults, was they had an unhealthy fascination with bikes, and more dangerously motorbikes, whether it be PEDs or larger bikes. Some of them would be stolen bikes, and I wanted to kind of understand and make it be known that how many deaths have we had on the Isle of Dogs. If you go around the Isle of Dogs, you'll see flowers and spots where people have kind of remembered someone that passed away through.
Wouldn't it be a good thing to start a actual motorbike project where young people could learn to ride bikes safely and know the meanings of riding safely and what that means?
And it was a conversation that was kind of brought up again when we were speaking with Erin and Dave, the need to kind of work together in partnership to address the issue. Thankfully, Errol was aware of an organisation that he had known in the past that had done motorbike workshop.
Myself, One Housing and the community safety team approached the Avalon Bike Project in Camden to go and visit them, and there we developed a project and we put it out to publicity, and that's how the motorbike project was born.
I think the initial idea was to run this this program at St Andrews Wharf, but after a few meetings, we kind of we realised that it would make more sense to bus the participants over to Camden, to our workshop in Euston. There's tons of tools that you need. You need the motorbikes, obviously, and most importantly, you need a big space. And we had a gentleman come in and speak about road safety, and I think it was his son that was run over by someone that had been done drink driving. But it wasn't that's like a real typical kind of road safety campaign. But the gentleman that came in. He came in and just spoke to them. They didn't realise that I think what happened, that he showed them a video. It was a news story, and it was a news story about someone that had been run over. And he was there standing next to them the whole time. And then after they'd watched this little newsreel, then they discovered that he was actually the parent of the person that died. And that was just, it's it works.
Showing that how people that don't know how to drive, it's a privilege for us to have driving lessons in the future, because some people, they didn't drive properly, and there was an incident where one of the people that worked here, their son got hit by a car, and he was a soldier, and he's only like 20 years old, so like early adult. He got hit and died. Our bike course is going good, and we've repaired the bikes, and tomorrow we're gonna ride them.
I think it's really good, and it's a good way to keep us out of trouble.
Just the bikes, learning new things and meeting new people.
It was a bit mad still, because like someone's child died from someone being stupid, and it's gonna teach us how to be smart on the roads and about London.
So do you recommend this to anyone?
Yeah, people our age, 110%. It helps a lot.
Yeah, recommend it, yeah?
Definitely.
Thumbs up. So you're looking forward to tomorrow?
110%.
All right, so what's tomorrow all about then?
Riding the bikes.
We're going to a track in Essex.
Been out on the dirt bikes today in the forest and stuff. It's really cool.
It's been an amazing experience, and I've learned how to ride a motorbike for the first time, and if it weren't for today, I probably wouldn't have even been able to drive. I have fell off a couple of times, but that's how you get better at things. And they've brought us here today to show us how to keep a bike safe on and off of the road. They're not just coming here to ride bikes, they're teaching us how to maintain bikes for the first 2 days, because if they did that on the third day, then people wouldn't come, so that we've had to maintain them for the first 2 days. And then we've come here and rid bikes, but it's been amazing. I want more days like this. We need more days like this, because there's too many young people losing lives on bikes, and if they come here, they'll learn how to drive them properly, maintain them properly, and it'll make it a good experience for them.
Special thanks again to Neil and all of the partners who was involved, and a special shout out to Norbert as well. Now we are going to move on to what again became the flagship annual event from St Andrew's Wharf, Island Unity.
So at staff meetings when we were thinking about programs that we were running, it came to an idea which was brought about by David Morrison. They said what would be a good idea is us to have some kind of event that kind of brought all those factors together.
Because I had prior experience of doing musical events with young people, I put forward an idea to do a live performance outside of St Andrew's Wharf with a view to bringing the community into the centre, and also with a view to trying to get some form of community cohesion.
Both Dave and Errol told me about the idea they had for Island Unity, which I thought was a great idea. So I did all I can to help make it happen. So I'd also be helping out in terms of the weekly meetings and helping the young people organise themselves and deliver what for me was a beautiful project.
We spoke for a number of weeks until we come up with the name Island Unity.
I mean, the original name was Island Love at the time. That's what we came up with, and that's what we were running with, and we debated and discussed with the young people. But what had happened was that there was a TV program, well-known TV program called Love Island, and there was a number of issues going on with that particular program. So basically I thought on my feet at that moment, and I came up with, well, what's the next best thing to love? I thought unity. So from there, Island Unity was born. We had to bring it back to the young people, and basically everyone loved it, and we ran with it, and I suppose they say the rest is history.
But we all know that it's a shame. I'm gonna make some change, gonna live in a world so strange. Talking about reality when you don't know what's reality. To the story, you keep on dying, but the notion, you keep on lying. Caught in an endless loop, caught in a world of problems. You'll never be heard. It's time to get aggressive. Illegal! We don't care who you are, religion, race, or illegal! No discrimination! Illegal! From the top of the gonna take the ranges! Illegal! From other nations!
So when Erin and Dave mentioned that they want to do a live performance event, well, this is right up my alley as a producer of live music events. So they fully got my support. They had some great talent. It was a great event. It was really well supported, and it was really good to see it come together for young people and for the community. So the first event, I think, was an amazing success. I know there would have been a lot more had we not had the pandemic.
Yeah, Island Unity went really well. I'm really proud of the young people for pulling off what was a very, very well executed event. Watching that back brings back so many memories. Funnily enough, I couldn't be there on the day because I was working at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. But I was so proud watching on the phone what the guys were getting up to. So shout out to everybody who was involved in organising Island Unity. Now with that being said, we have Marigold Spitfire who are ready to do an interview with us in which we're going to speak about kind of how they came across St. Andrews and just a little bit of the beginning with working with us on the music development project. Check it out. Hey, Marigold Spitfire. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, I want you guys to introduce yourselves one by one, your name and what instrument you play.
Hi, I'm Gabriel. I mainly sing and play guitar, but sometimes I'll switch and play drums.
I'm Ryan. I play guitar, keyboards, and I also do backing vocals.
I'm Reese and I play bass.
Yeah, bro.
I'm Josh. I play drums, and sometimes I switch into guitar for a few songs.
So, you a handful of you already knew each other from primary school, and then you guys all went to the same secondary school in George Green.
I met him in George Green.
Yeah, then talk to us as to how you first found out about St. Andrews Wharf.
All right, yeah. Basically, it was like I think you and I think it was Dave and Errol that came in for it was like during assembly, and you said come around lunchtime. You got we can work on some music stuff. You brought your laptop in and was making beats and stuff like that during lunch, and you'd come in a few times, like every 2 weeks to the school.
Josh, stop.
And we could go do stuff
stop. I'm going to ask you the question again. What's happening is you're getting feedback. So can you move a little bit away from Ryan?
Right. Yeah. We'll go with this.
Cool.
Yeah, man. We have to social distance. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask the question again. It's a bit weird how you guys are doing an interview together, but you have to be apart.
Yeah, I know. And I should have muted myself. That would have helped, but you know.
No, it's all good. It's all good. But I'll ask the question again. So yeah, guys, tell us about how. We can start with yourself, Josh. How you first found out and got to work with St. Andrews Wharf.
Well, I think it was a time in I think it was about maybe year 10, year 11, and you came in for an assembly, and during the end of the assembly, you said you was going to still be around after lunch. So we came to you at lunchtime. You was in the music department. I think we had making beats on Logic and then doing some lessons, and then you told us to come down to St. Andrews to see for some sessions because they had the studio and that over there.
Yeah, and again, for those who don't know, he's referring to me. But at the same time, what was? Because I remember there was a good few of you. There was like close to 30. It felt like the first time round. But what was your impression of the session the first time round?
Well, it was I've never really seen how would I put it, a youth club, something like that, to help us with sort of music stuff in the area, the community service stuff. Never really gotten into stuff that you can actually end up recording stuff for free for a youth club and just going from there and getting actual contacts from a youth club to get better and stuff.
Fair. Take us back to now the very first project you did when you went to St. Andrews Wharf, which was Island Unity. That was the one that was in the actual St. Andrews Wharf. Is a physical event that had many different elements to it, from sports to youth organisations promoting themselves to even a virtual reality machine. So we'll start with yourself, Ryan. Talk to me about the journey from being involved in terms of creating the event to actually performing from your perspective.
Well, from my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, see the question again?
No problem. So Ryan, of course, tell us a bit more about the Island Unity project, the one that we did in 2019, I think it was.
Yeah, okay, that one. Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
talk to me about the journey, how it came about from your perspective, and how it went.
All right. Yeah, man. I mean, let me just say first of all, I loved doing that because it was in the summer. We played outside, and I think it would have maybe it's like the first or no, maybe the second time we played like like an outside gig. So that was like a different feel. But basically, how it started was, I mean, we started to plan that when during like school time. So maybe March, something like, maybe even later. I'm not too sure there. But we started planning that, you know. And basically at the start, I'm not gonna say like, I'm not gonna lie. I thought maybe like, why are we doing this? Because I thought it wasn't gonna happen, like nothing with it. But all that planning actually did help. And then like it got to like during the summer, the planning got more serious. And also because we didn't have any school and we had a lot of free time and we could actually rehearse, like unlike now. That was like a lot more fun. And we were just like, me personally, I was gaining a lot of chemistry with like with the rest of Marigold Spitfire playing, and I think, and as a finisher, it was like we just played in August, you know, and that was again, it was like it was summertime. Many people came. There was like food, and it was like near the skate park. I just like really liked the vibe there. So and then it was really nice because it was really sunny too. It was looking cloudy in the morning, I remember, but then it was just really sunny. So yeah, it was just like a roller coaster of emotions. Yeah.
Yeah. And what about you, Gabriel? How did it feel like for you being involved in it?
Oh yeah, like I agree with Ryan, thinking like, oh, this is a bit out of nowhere. Like, is this even gonna turn out good? But like, it ended up being like proper fun to just be a part of and working with different people, and definitely the vibe was sick because we just got to play outside and all that. And I wish we could have played more even. Like, I can't wait to do it again. It was just sick.
Yeah, that's true, man. Yeah, every summer that should be like an every summer kind of thing.
Yeah,
I
I don't
think
even
that's how it's
care.
gonna
It's like
even get
mad.
bigger.
Yeah. So, Josh, of course, Ryan and Gabriel was a lot more available in regards to the planning of the session, and you came in a little bit later in regards to the planning. But from your perspective, how did it feel being involved in it?
Well, being involved in it is because obviously I wasn't around for most of the time, but I got to see from like how it would like gradually build up with all the plans and everything, and being asked like when I wasn't around, what would we want there in terms of how it's gonna look. Because at first I thought it wasn't gonna like look the way it did, but then obviously since I wasn't really around during planning, I was obviously part of this, but then I just came and I was surprised on the day and how it turned out. It looked like, I don't know, something like you look back like from 20 years and you see like an old skate park and just the vibes and everything like teenagers.
Yeah, that's just true.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just good community stuff, man.
Yeah.
And lastly, Reese, you are the person who lives the furthest away from everybody. So for you to come to St. Andrew's Wharf was always an issue. But we definitely commend you. We definitely had you in our thoughts whenever we was doing things. And of course you performed on the day as well. So from coming in and performing, how did you feel?
Well, obviously, since I wasn't there for a lot of the planning, like almost anything, I was just told to come down to rehearsals whenever we could and just rehearse these songs. Bro, we have this thing coming up, just do your part. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. But as I came on the day, to be honest, I think last time I was like around the area of the youth club, I didn't think we could bring so much to the table, like with all the equipment and then all the activities that was there and the whole community. People, I didn't think that many people were going to turn up as well, but I was actually pleasantly surprised by our audience and stuff.
Yeah. Don't worry, you're going to be seeing more of Marigold Spitfire. They're going to be hanging around in the stream and watching, and we're going to come back to them a little bit later in the show to get to know a little bit more about how they was involved in the other chapters within the St. Andrew's Wharf story in recent years. We're going to move on, though, to probably what was one of my personal favourite projects. And this project was directly in relation to what happened with COVID and was the starting point for all these virtual events that you've been seeing from us. So this is a little bit of insight into Virtual Island Unities 1 and 2. Check it out. So the first lockdown happens. Speaking to a friend of mine who's a dance instructor, she tells me that she's going to be doing her classes on Zoom. And I had no idea what it was, so she told me about it, did my research, and I immediately thought this would be an amazing way to continue the music development program we had been doing with St. Andrews. So I called the St. Andrews team, told them the idea, they loved it.
And we spoke to a number of young people by phone and etc., keeping close contact with them. The overriding thing that was coming back from them was, when is Island Unity on again? Because it made such an impact on them when it was a live event that they kept on asking, when is that going to be on?
At the same time though, the youth service felt like things might be starting back up in the summer. So the idea was to plan towards that summer, but I felt like we probably wouldn't be coming out of the lockdown come summer. So the idea was to do Virtual Island Unity as far as I was concerned. And then when we kind of collectively felt like we're not coming out of this in the summer, immediately we went straight into doing the Virtual Island Unity. We contacted Wayne from the Community Safety Response Team.
That was also very successful. We had some great performances, great talent. It gave us a chance, and I know yourself included on this one, it gave us a chance to show what we could do using modern technology and creative media as a way to engage young people. So the physical event was great, the virtual event was equally as successful, and we look forward to doing more technology and creative media as a way to engage young people.
We managed to, within a 2-week turnaround, contact the young people within our vicinity just to show proof of concept. We managed to pull off Virtual Island Unity.
The physical event was great, the virtual event was equally as successful, and we look forward to doing more.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. Again, shout out to everybody who was involved in it. And one person I'd like to shout out in particular was a young person by the name of Cody Taylor, who this was his first time even performing. And in honor of that, we're going to be showing his performance once again. This is Cody Taylor performing a cover of Location.
Send me your location, let's focus on communicating, cause I just need the time and place to come through. Send me your location, let's ride the vibrations. I don't need nothing else but you. I also wonder why I fool with you, but this is new to me, this is new to you initially. I didn't want to fool for you, getting my attention, it was all for you. So don't take advantage, don't leave my heart damaged. To understand why things go a little bit better when you plan it. Oh, so won't you send me your location, let's focus on communicating, cause I just need the time and place to come through. Send me your location, let's ride the vibrations. I don't need nothing else but you. I don't wanna fall in love off of subtweets, so let's get personal. I got a lot of cool spots that we can go. Tell me what's the move and I got you
I'm only acting like this cause I like you. Just give me the vibe to slide in. Oh, I might make your mind by tonight. Yeah, send me your location. Let's focus on communicating, cause I just need the time and place to come through. Send me your location. Let's ride the vibrations. I don't need nothing else but you. Ride, come and vibe with me tonight. I don't need nothing else but you. Ride, come and vibe with me tonight. I don't need nothing else but you. Nothing else but you. Oh, I don't need nothing else but you.
Once again, a special shout out to you, Cody Taylor. Now, we have to speak on probably one of the most regular kind of programs that will happen at St. Andrew's Wharf, and that's the summer programs. Will be a wide range of activities that will be happening from different games, different sports, and all of the above. Unfortunately, the pictures that you'd normally see in the presentation thus far, they're all at the St. Andrew's Wharf Youth Hub, which we haven't been able to open up due to COVID lockdown. So I wanted to say a special shout out to all of the summer projects that we've been involved in, Island Unity being one of them, of course, and also shout out to all the partners who played a part in making sure that young people manage to receive high quality services and programs during the times when they're outside of school and college. Now, with that being said, Marigold Spitfire are itching to come back and continue the rest of the interview, so that's what we're going to do, and we're going to kind of get conversating on their kind of take on the virtual island unities and the next steps beyond. Check it out. So having done Island Unity, of course, the idea was to do that every single year. And then as it came around to doing Island Unity, the second time around, we went through the lockdown. But at the same time, I want to, starting with Reese, before we get into what we did during lockdown, I want to know your thoughts of how you kind of felt about lockdown generally.
Obviously, whenever the government says something, it's usually they don't know what they're talking about. But this time, when they all said we might go under one because of a virus, to be honest, I didn't think too much of it because I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought it would be more in control about that. And obviously, when it did happen, I was just really disappointed about the whole not doing Island Unity and everything. I just felt it made me feel quite terrible, to be honest.
Oh, how about you, Joshua? How did you feel?
Yeah, it's because everything was just really cut off for like a good few months. So it was just really abrupt how like school just ended, because we was about to set to do our exams and everything. It was March, we was doing mocks, and then just after we do our mocks, we're going home and we're like getting our predicted grades. And in fact, we wasn't even told our predicted grades for a long time. So everything was pretty uncertain of what we was going to get out of this. Was we going to get into college or something like that? So a lot of uncertainty.
Fair. And how did you feel, Gabriel? Sorry, Gabriel, we can't hear you.
Muted, I think.
I think those headphones are not good.
Me now.
Yeah, we can hear you now. So I'll ask you again. So how did you feel, Gabriel?
So obviously I was pretty excited because we left school early. We were in our last year and we didn't have to do GCSEs. So I was kind of enjoying the fact of like staying at home, initially like that. I won't lie, that was kind of like a nice thing, but it was crap that all the stuff was happening. But the more deep the lockdown went, the more like you got like, oh, I wanna do something now. I wanna just get out there again. But there was that initial excitement. I can't lie.
Fair. And how did you feel about it, Ryan?
I mean, I just felt really bored because I couldn't do anything, especially when lockdown started. Like, my parents were much more strict about it because my dad is like this super paranoid guy. So I decided I was just indoors, eating, sleeping, and playing video games. I mean, that was actually kind of fun. That's actually true. During the summer, it's like I felt kind of like a baby at the start, but then it got just really boring when school started and we could go school, but then the lockdown happened again. So you build up excitement when you go school. You think like, okay, I think there's a hope of life becoming normal again, and then the lockdown just hits again. It's like, no man, it's like.
Yeah, I hear you. And again, during that time, of course, we decided to do the virtual Island Unity. We'll start with yourself, Gabriel. Talk to us about, from your perspective, how this even came to be and your thoughts of the idea, and kind of how did it turn out for you?
Of what, Island Unity?
Yeah, the virtual Island Unity.
Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, obviously you guys wanted to keep it going, even though we couldn't do it outside. So it was a good idea to make it virtual and, to try and get some good music out for people so we could enjoy something and get creative all together. So that was just a pretty cool concept, and it was fun making the video for it too. But yeah, it was just a nice thing to do whilst none of us were doing pretty much anything, because we were all just stuck in comfort zone and just not doing anything at home. Yeah. So it was a nice thing to do.
Yeah, and Ryan, of course, you performed and you had 2 tracks where you playing with your guitar. How did it feel for you, like recording that video at home as well?
There wasn't, to be honest, anything new. I always record myself to see how I play. Mm-hmm. So it was like, because it wasn't an actual audience, it's like, record my phone and just play really out. Yeah.
But from your perspective, Reese, did you watch the first Island Unity with Gabriel and Ryan performing? And if so, what was your thoughts?
To be honest, obviously, since it's virtual, no one expects anything to be good quality, but I was surprised about how it turned out. Like, I remember watching Ryan as well, specifically, and I thought the audio and stuff was quite well. It's like well put together. Like, you can tell it wasn't just a mess and just put together straight away. It was like, you could tell it was thought out.
I'm actually glad that came out well, bro.
Special shout out once again to Marigold Spitfire each and every time. That being said, we're going to move on to another important chapter in the St. Andrews Wharf story in terms of New Wave, and that was the Black History Month virtual presentation. Check out the inside track.
At our centre, we do try to celebrate Black History Month. We actually have area within the centre that we display a number of different things relating to Black History Month. We were not able to deliver projects and programmes face to face given the current circumstance. So, speaking to young people and speaking to staff members, it had to be delivered in a virtual sort of way. So on top of that, whilst we were doing it, there was unbelievable, incident that the world viewed that came out of America with George Floyd's death. That made the world sit up and view, the current situation in terms of, racism throughout the world. So there was born the Black Lives Matter campaign. So we used that Black History Month in a way to educate not only our members, but people further afield, within the history of the Black people and what their aspirations were and what they actually achieved and what they were able to achieve and what they're still able to achieve and what the future would look like. We told the history beginning, middle, and now in the future. That's what the Black History Month virtual presentation hoped to achieve.
So the Black History Month project was one of my personal favourite ones because we was able to really provide information that a lot of young people didn't know about. And it was a great opportunity for me personally to get more in touch with Black history and culture. So much credit to Dave and Errol for coming up with the idea at such an important time. And it was also great getting to speak to a lot of the young people about their feelings about Black history as well. And for me, the best way to ensure an improvement in racial integration across all communities in the world is education, is understanding, and also dialogue.
We are a part of Black history, we are part of the Black culture, and we are making history as we speak. Anytime a Black person does something, that is Black history being made. So another set of people who inspire me is my parents, our parents. A lot of Black people's parents come from home, from somewhere apart from the UK, apart from London. And it takes a lot to leave your country. It takes determination, courage, resilience, bravery. And a lot of them leave knowing that, okay, I'm going to go to London or the UK or whatever country it may be, because they know it's going to lead a better life for their children and for the generations to come. Especially coming to a country that they don't necessarily like you or support you or want you here, it's hard. So that really inspires me because I wouldn't be here, a lot of us wouldn't be here without our parents. So yeah, but I feel like young people help contribute to Black culture and Black history. Oftentimes we get ridiculed or, you know, a lot of people complain about our use of social media, when in fact social media is what connects each other and it brings everyone together. For example, the George Floyd murder that happened in June, a lot of us would not know how it happened or it happening without social media. Young people were the ones sending the links, reposting, sharing this photo, telling people what's happening, why it's happening, spreading information. Social media connects us, and of course social media does have, you know, some bad influences. Everything does. Too much is something to have a bad impact, obviously, and I'm not denying that. But I think young people aren't as acknowledged and appreciated for our efforts in how we spread awareness with social media. For example, the End SARS movement in Nigeria that happened, is currently happening right now. There's a lot of petitions that have been spread around. There's a lot of videos that have been shared on what's going on. Without social media, we would not know what's happening on the other side of the world. And justice wouldn't be able to happen because a lot of people have saved lives through social media. So I think young people help in Black history and Black culture.
First of all, much respect, much love and admiration for all of the Black heroes, both present and both past, and as well as the ones who are going to be in the future. We are going to be moving on because Ella has been itching to speak and share a bit of her story. So we're going to get speaking to her about her engagement with St. Andrews and also what she's doing in the future as well. Check that out. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you're more than most welcome. How have you been?
Yeah, good. I mean, lockdown's been crazy for all of us, but I think we've all learned something important. We've all realised what our priorities are. I've started a new school, so everything's actually going pretty well for me.
Good to hear, good to hear. So we're going to start with yourself where we first met you. But before we talk about how we first met you, I want you to speak about your passion for music and when it started.
So my passion for music is sort of a way that I let out any stress or anger or any negative emotions. It's sort of my stress relief point. So it's really important, even just for my mental health, let alone relaxation, to listen to music. So I think that is a huge reason why it's part of my life. But I definitely fell in love with music at school when I was able to meet the guys from Marigold Spitfire and they got me into some new bands. And at that point, I think it really started to develop and grow from there.
And during that time, was it singing you did? Did you pick up an instrument or multiple instruments? Tell us, like, how you started exploring the art forms in music.
So in like year 7, my cousin, he has always played piano from like 3 years old, and he's like a bit of a maestro now. So he's crazy on piano. So I was always like, that's my inspiration. I want to be like him. So in year 7, I tried, and I had a reputation of sort of try lots of hobbies and never sticking with anything. But piano was the first thing like I properly stuck with. And then just because, you know, it's music, you start singing around with it. I'm not the best singer in the world, but I do I do a bit of singing just on the side because it's fun. And then in year 10, I started bass guitar, which really helped open up group work for me and like band work and being part of a band. So yeah.
Cool. So first of all, or second of all, how did you meet St. Andrew's Wharf, and what was your impressions of St. Andrew's Wharf when you first came into contact with them?
So the first time I was able to contact them was actually when they came into our school, and we were doing a performance and they were just sitting in the audience. I didn't really know why they were there at the time, but I instantly knew I liked them because they were just really warm, really welcoming, ready to banter, and showed a lot of personal interest. So instantly it was good.
Beautiful. And of course, one of the projects that you was very much involved in was Island Unity, the physical one that happened in 2019 in the summer. I can't believe it's 2019, like time flows by so quickly. But from your perspective, talk to us about the story of the project from the beginning to the middle and to like the end, in which, of course, the performance happened in August, I believe. Yeah, talk to us about the story from your perspective.
So at the beginning, I don't even know who introduced it to me. I'm sure it's one of my friends, but I wasn't sure about it. Like, I thought it was great that all the local talent was being promoted and things like that. But I didn't know if I wanted to get involved myself. Anyway, I came along one day to see, and it was, as I said, a really warm atmosphere, and I instantly liked it, and they were really allowing us to get hands-on with the project, and we could do our own organising. It was all about our own ideas. Like, the adults gave us complete control pretty much. So that was pretty new, being at a school where they're very much probably like structure focused, and this is what you do and this is what you say, and like coming out and being able to do our own creative sort of Island Unity Festival was fantastic.
Cool. What was your favourite moment of being involved, whether it was the day on the performance and something in that day was your favourite moment, or even during the process? What would you say was your favourite moment?
I mean, the day was amazing because we could see how everything turned out. And I think my favourite moment, this was tiny, but there was like a skater at the skate park, and he was just chilling out. He had no clue that this was going to be on, and he just absolutely loved it, and he ended up staying for like so long, and was like this guy with like tattoos everywhere, really, really cool skater, like quite like probably in his 30s, and he just fell in love with it. So I really like that because it showed like that all of that work was worth it, and that we actually made a successful show and performance.
Brilliant. Really good to hear. And who was your favourite performer on the day?
I mean, that is a hard question. I mean, I think the one with Will and Marigold was absolute, like the beats were there. So that was very exciting. So probably that was the best, just because the audience really got into it, and it was, yeah, it was like vibrating the whole building. so that had the most atmosphere, I think. Yeah.
Good to hear. And what would you say you learned during that process?
I learned how important collaboration was, because I was always that sort of person that could do a good enough job on my own. So I would do independent work, Unless my friends were there, then obviously I'll be with my friends. But I realized how important collaboration with different people were, because they had different unique ideas. They will bring something different to the table. So I think that's the main thing that I learned.
Of course, we went through the first lockdown, which you talked about was kind of different for everyone. How have you felt with like the second, and now we're in the third lockdown? How have you felt in terms of the process?
I feel so lucky, to be honest, because I've got a good internship and I'm at a college that is really trying to push me, get me into different areas of technology and stuff. So I'm in a really good environment to make me more curious, I guess. So I'm so busy, like honestly, I think I've neglected so many people because I'm just like running around hectic all day. So I'm actually really enjoying myself.
Good to hear. And how would you say St. Andrew's Wharf has just helped you as a person, whether it's personal or whether as a musician? How would you say they've helped?
I've met so many amazing people, and we've had some really good deep conversations just throughout the journey that gave me a different perspective, a different viewpoint. And that's probably my favorite things about friendships, is learning more about people and about social issues and the world from those deep conversations. So I think that was my favorite part.
Cool. Are you still pursuing music, by the way? Or are you pursuing another kind of segment or industry as a profession?
As a profession, I'm going into technology. So I want to do more like design-based stuff and making it easier to use technology and implement it more into our lives and things like that. So not really music-based, but I would love to work as a techie or Spotify. I think that's the ultimate.
Thanks again for your time, Ella, and I can't wait for you to become the CEO of Spotify so I can get my Spotify premium discount. Now, that being said, we are going to be moving on to a little bit of music. You saw him earlier in the presentation. He is one of the mentors of St. Andrew's Wharf Youth Hub. He goes by the name of Willis, and he's coming up with his latest track called Alien BTS, which stands for Behind the Scenes. Check the video out.
I slightly like the way it looks.
Yeah. Oh wait, should we sign on it real quick? Let's see what that looks like.
I'm flying off. Alien. Way going. On the Ashley Nedush. Way going. Shoot any. Ali text me like that's weird G. Send it back alien emoji. I'm living, I'm sipping on alky. In my liver protecting Goji. Double infinity rising like Georgie. Don't listen to him. I live it forever, my kids and my kids and the kids and the kids call it living or rich. Call it wealth for my sake, and I go what it takes. You drip a pool, man a lake. Wealth you like ghost, you wanna rave. If that's what you're aiming for, brother, that's silly. That so cringy. If I had a penny each time that I'm seeing these guys in their 30s, ambition at 20, same story, so tragic. Invested, I'm making them all rich. Wanna be wealthy, I dream their kids healthy. I pray their wife sexy, their mama and papa at dinner so proudly. Closing the frame picture, look so Oscar worthy. The fits are so fancy. My brother, we made it. Don't sleep when you're dreaming. My brother, you bake it. Don't sleep when you're dreaming. Don't sleep at the oven. Don't sleep when you're dreaming. Don't sleep on the dreaming. The demons are hunting. I look at my face in the face and they're smiling. I'm smiling back. Don't react. Faith over fear. I can tell that they're proud. They see me going clear. Woke up in the morning feeling fine. It was 5. Early bird gets the worm. Come earlier. And I promise you there'll be more choices to find. And I promise you see the changes in due time. I promise the Louis chasing you this time. Won't go too far if you leave you behind. What's happened has happened, you're still doing fine. Maybe you ain't, that's for you to know. How you living and that's the usual. You said I can feel like criminal. Baby burning, watch me on fire. Wrist shaking, gripping on the lighter. Did it to myself, wanna learn how to get there. Self-inflicted, how they see it, so I deserve this.
Willis, watching you grow as a man and as a musician has been an honour and a privilege. Shout out to you, as well as shout out to Timmy, and shout out to Jerome Leeds, who was also another staple of the development of St. Andrew's Wharf. Special thank you to all three of you. Now, with that being said, having a look at what we're going to touch on, yes, let's talk about what we are going to be doing now. So we have a project that's going to be a cooking project helping people who want to cook, things like sugary treats to healthy meals. That's going to be happening in March, and that's going to be with One Housing as well. So keep an eye out for that. But what's happening right now is a project we've got called Online Football and Fitness, in which we're helping young people learn the skills within football and developing their fitness as well on Zoom every week on Monday. So just to make things a bit interesting, we're going to have a little panel discussion with Jonathan from YSE, which stands for Young Stars Elite, and also Errol, who has a very intriguing history with football. Check it out. Oh, what a pleasure. This is kind of like my favourite interview stroke conversation. We have Jonathan here from YSE, which stands for Young Stars Elite. Jonathan, how are you doing today?
All good, brother, all good. You know what I mean? Forever's not great, but we're here, we're maintaining, you know, so all good, man. All good.
Amen to that. So tell us a little bit more about who are you and what you do.
Okay, so yeah, I'm part of a charity called London Young Stars Elite. We're based in Isle of Dogs. We're abbreviated to actually Young Stars Elite, but we threw in a London there because when we got our charity registration, we had to kind of differentiate ourselves from another organisation. So what we done was through the London in front of the Young Stars Elite. So officially, our charity name is London Young Stars Elite. However, in regards to like Sunday League football, competitive football, we're probably more known, say, as Young Stars Elite. So I'm one of the trustees. I'm also a coach. We've been running since April 2019 in the local area. Since that time, we've managed to grow to like 200 members. So we've got loads of kids who play competitive football. So we also participate in the Hackney Marshes Saturday League. And we also have toddler teams. So when I say toddler teams, we've got like a soccer school, which is targeted at young kids from the age of like 3 to 5. Basically just introducing them to football, fun element to football, and basically just warming them up and then getting ready to the outside world when they get to around about 5, 6 years old. That's when we kind of introduce them to competitive football and then introduce them into the under 6, under 7 teams. Also, we've got a girls football going on as well. So we've got the FA Wildcat sessions we also do on a Sunday. That's fairly new actually. That only started off in September of 2020. And lucky enough, even though we've kind of had a lot of mishaps with COVID-19 lockdowns and tier systems, we've still managed to get at least 20 odd girls on a weekly basis, which has been brilliant. So yeah, that's something we're looking to actually expand and start creating some competitive girls teams going forward. But we actually do have 2 or 3 girls that play in our competitive league teams at the moment with our under 11s. So yeah, if you've got the ability and you want to play, the door's open over here. No matter if you're a boy or girl, the opportunities are always here for you to come and play and enjoy yourself.
Brilliant. And we're joined in this conversation, short discussion, by Errol Mackenzie, who is the Youth Engagement Officer of St. Andrew's Wharf. And many of you may not know he actually has a background in football. So Errol, please tell us a little bit of your story within football, sir.
It's quite varied. I had a kind of history growing up in football from school to playing for my Sunday club, playing for non-league clubs, and then into sort of being introduced in the background into professional football. I came as a schoolboy within professional club. I'm not going to say which club it was, but you know, I had a big association with clubs from that level, and then grown up in professional football and been around professional footballers, mentoring and tutoring them into professional football myself, given my background with the relationships with professional clubs. One of the youngsters that I mentored actually made his debut for a professional club It'll kill me if I say so, but it was my own club that I support, which is Tottenham, and he made it at 17 into their first team.
So I was just laughing because Jonathan just had the thumbs down, and as a fellow Arsenal supporter, I feel the same way. But please continue, sir.
That I actually did some work with was actually, you mean Jonathan, his club, that he's putting his thumbs down to my club. Yeah, it was actually his club that I did some work with, getting some youngsters in there too. So yeah, my background has been through scouting and mentoring with professional youngsters and playing background myself. So I've had quite a varied experience of football and young people getting into that first step onto ladder into the first team, etc.
Wow, that is amazing. My goodness. You are definitely welcome in this conversation because what we're going to talk about the nature of the online football and fitness program that has been a collaboration between London Young Stars Elite as well as St Andrew's Wharf. And on top of that, we're going to have a quick conversation just about what it would take to be a football player yourself. For those young people who are watching, who love watching football and maybe want to get involved, this is the conversation for you. Starting with this online football and fitness program, which is free for all young people within Tower Hamlets. Please tell us a bit more about that. What is this? What's the purpose behind it, and what you guys are trying to achieve? But also, what can young people gain from jumping on the program?
Yeah, the program, well, like you just said, the program's free, which is great. We try to offer as many free things as we can in the community. You know, we know money can be tight, and at the end of the day, having a free service or free projects just gets everyone involved. So yeah, the idea is that we're working with St Andrews, so St Andrews Youth Hub, London Young Stars Elite, and also Southern Housing, running a project which is online health and fitness. It's an ongoing project that runs every Monday, 5 o'clock to 5:40. So the aim of the project is literally just to promote health and well-being, first of all. You know what I mean? Because we want to make sure our kids are keeping healthy and active. With the lockdown and the tier system, it's very difficult for kids to get involved in anything sporty, and a lot of clubs as well have actually stopped operations. You know what I mean? They're no longer doing anything while the lockdowns are in place. So with this online program we're running, it's here to ensure that we can maintain the fitness of the kids, the well-being of the kids, but also as well we're looking to try and develop their football talents and give them a better understanding of football. So what we'll also be doing is that we'll be doing drills. So drills that you'll kind of be doing at your local football club. We'll be doing drills that have been pre-recorded and also live drills as well, which will help better your technique, better your understanding of ball mastery, your understanding of in-game and scenarios as well. Better understanding of gameplay, you know, tactics. So yeah, and also as well, it's kind of giving you the drive and the challenge to improve yourself. You know what I mean? To enhance your talents that you already have. Let's take them to the next level. Let's work hard and see what we can achieve, because hard work can get you to a lot of places. And the goal is to try and at least get your talent spotted. You know, so if we can get your talent noticed and kind of referred to an academy or a development center, then we feel that the project will be a success. So that's the kind of basics of what we're trying to achieve with this online project that we've got going on every Monday.
Brilliant. Now I want to get your 2 cents on this one. Next question, El. And the question is, what is the landscape? How easy or challenging is it for a young person to become a professional football player? And then I'd love to get your thoughts on it afterwards, Jonathan. But yeah, Errol, what would you say?
There's no, magic wand, so to speak, for a kid to get from grassroots to a professional club. How I say that is mainly youngsters who enjoy the game. I think they should enjoy the game as much as possible before they think about the next step, which is obviously the excellent step. And each club, ranging from Premiership right down to probably League Two, they all look for different things. You'd be surprised. Maybe you might think some clubs at League 1 and 2 Championship, you know, bottom half of the Championship, for example, or in League 1 or 2, they'll be looking for certain technique that you would thought maybe a Premiership club would be looking for. So
yeah, to be honest with you, every more or less hit everything in a nutshell. Obviously coming from his background as well, he's an experienced guy, you know what I mean? He knows what he's talking about. So, but when he says stuff like every club is different from Premiership to all the way down to League 2, he's totally right, because what Arsenal might want might be different to what, say, Wolverhampton or Bristol City or Birmingham City want. Do you know what I'm saying? They might be looking for totally different criteria, but it doesn't necessarily mean that this academy will outwit that academy, or what, do you know what I'm saying? The most important thing, I think, to be honest with you, and it all comes down to opinions, isn't it? Everyone's got their own opinion, and they've seen a lot happening within the game. But first of all, I think you've got to love or have the passion for football. You have to have that at a young age. If you haven't got the passion or love for football, it's going to be hard to motivate yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, when I say the love and the passion, it's like you've literally got to just pick up a ball any time and want to play with it. Do you know what I mean? Play football. Yeah. You know, like an artist will only become the best artist by continuing to keep drawing, by continuing to draw every day. The best artist is not someone that draws once a month. He probably draws 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's very important. And the other one I would say is the hard work. Hard work is the most important thing. You know, you have to be doing more than the other person. You know what I mean? If you want to become a professional footballer, you can't just say, I'm going to train once a week with my football team, play on a Saturday or Sunday, and I'm going to make it. You probably have to train Monday to Friday and after the games that you're played as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Because like Errol said, you might get to the age of 14 or whatever, 15. You might be at, say, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, whatever. But at that age there, those teams can now go and get players from the Barcelona Academy, the AC Milan Academy. So you're now, like Errol said, you might be the best within the Isle of Dogs or Tower Hamlets. But when the man's coming from Barcelona and he's the hottest striker in Europe, and you think you're the hottest striker in Europe, you know what I mean? It's now a challenge. You know what I mean? He might be coming with a record of 200 goals in the last 2 seasons. So, you know, I put my personal thing is love the game, have the passion for the game, where it doesn't become a burden, but just work harder than the next man. Do you know what I mean? Just make sure you're always working harder than your competitors. You know?
Okay. Yeah, thanks again, Errol. Thanks again, Jonathan, for your time. Please continue enjoying the rest of the stream. And yes, look forward to seeing you and all you other young people who want to get involved on the online fitness and football program. I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation, and I hope it inspires some of you to take up football and join the online football and fitness program. It's funny because someone asked me on a side note as to what's happening with my webcam. For some reason, when it's just me and you, it seems to be working perfectly fine. But whenever I'm doing interviews with other people, the quality seems to dip a little bit. Apologies for that. And apologies if my body keeps moving. I'm a little bit fidgety. But then again, that doesn't matter. What matters is the quality that the St. Andrew's Wharf Youth Hub has actually offered over the years for the young people and also for the community. That being said, Marigold Spitfire did not want to leave this stream without blessing you guys with their latest video called Bad George. So please check that out and enjoy.
Bad George, oh you can't ignore. He implores, he just wants more. He fires at you with his pistols, he's spying. Left alone with the scoundrels I hear. Letting no need for the runners. Grooming well, turn into a top gunner. Take him to the abyss if you wanna. Poor Bad George can't take it no more. Bad George, so no need for no runners. Grooming well, turn into a top gunner. Take you to the abyss if you wanna. Poor bad George can't take it no more.
Marigold. It's been such a pleasure watching you guys grow, and I can't wait to keep an eye on the rest of your musical careers as well. That being said, we have reached the end, and I want to put on record my thanks and gratitude to all of you guys for watching, and those who've been watching with us for the past few virtual presentations. We felt your love, we felt your energy, we have felt every single ounce of your gratitude as well. So thank you so much. And this is a time we have to say thank you to everybody that was involved in this journey. We have to say a massive thank you to Azim, who has been a massive support in helping us get done what we've needed to get done at St. Andrew's Wharf. We want to thank the London Borough Tower Hamlets Youth Service as well. A massive thank you to the Community Safety and Response team. Massive thank you to Shabina and Mujib from St. Andrew's Wharf as well. And there's been so many partners that either we wasn't able to speak and interview, or because they wasn't available, or simply because time didn't permit. We want to say a special thank you to all of you. From Gemma, from the Utilize Project, from Aksari, which I think I may have said special thank you again, but she deserves a second one. To all of the young people, past, present, and future, that ever graced the St. Andrew's Wharf entrance and exit as well. I want to say a special thank you to Errol as well as Dave and Wayne for being great teammates, great soldiers of the same struggle as well. And you know what? I want to thank every single young person that trusted us to help develop them, potentially for a career in the arts or in sport, or even just helping them along their journey in transitioning into adult society. My name has been Emmillio. It's been a massive pleasure sharing my time with you guys. We've got a quick little intro, a quick little outro video as well. Hope you check that out. But have a wonderful evening, guys. Take care.
Congratulations for all the hard work that you put into not just my brother, but every single person that walks into your facility, because it's really impressive, it's really heartwarming, and it's really rare to see such authentic, transparent, and sort of beautiful work being produced by yourselves, not by also by them, but mostly by yourselves, because you're taking this boy with a dream and you're helping them make that dream become a reality and making their aim become achievable. achievements, and please keep it going. Like, don't let it stop because of a pandemic, and don't let it stop because of anything. Like, keep your legacy going, because it's people like you that gets my brother to inspired enough to know that his music is good enough, and that he's good enough, and that he can keep going.
I'd like to say thank you for involving us in the project. It was really good. I think along with the girls, I learned some new skills as well. So we did like henna session, we did friendship bracelet making session. Some of them I've never done that before, so I was able to learn that. So thank you.
And Ruth?
Just to echo really what Iksha said, a really big thank you for letting us get involved. It was a really great experience for us to work with a different group in a different community centre and really get to know a little bit more about our local community on the island. I thought that was great. And to just keep doing what you're doing, I guess. There were so many new opportunities and new experiences, and I think it should continue.
I just want to say thank you so much, because they helped people like myself, like Will, to realise like we are so much more than what we think we are. We're so capable of so much more, you know? Like, it wouldn't have been possible for me to think I could do music if it wasn't for them, because I now have skills that can help me succeed in this business, you know what I'm saying? And I'm forever grateful. I'm forever grateful for the people I've met, you know? I'm just grateful for everything that they've done for me, and hopefully when we are in a place where we can change things ourselves, hopefully we can do that for the generation coming after us.
We are very much a part of the community, you know, and all the bad things I heard previously, and now we work with the community and had so much partners and close working relationships with people in the community. We're hoping that, you know, we can still be able to deliver what we've been delivering in the past 2.5 years. And, you know, we won't just go out of existence and that part of their relationship with us, you know, will die. So I'm hoping that could continue in some way.